Alright, this hand's not good, because we don't have anything to play untapped on turn 2, but it'll be fine. We'll draw a third land, play Celestus, and get to do stuff. It'll be fine. Well, drawing Fading Hope actually punished me for not playing Stormcarved Coast turn 1, because if my opponent plays a creature, needing to do the scry would be a big deal. Alright, whiffed on the land draw. That's fine. Our deck is still busted, so we can probably make up for it. But I'd like my opponent to play a creature that I get to Fading Hope. They don't, which I think means I have to cycle this Magma Opus because I want to play the Celestus. We don't need to, which hurts a little bit inside, but oh well. Hopefully no Abrade. Thankfully no Abrade. To be fair, though, Dota players have a history of spending absurd amounts on cosmetics. It's very much possible that they were in the right about how much artifacts should cost to play. Yeah, I think that actually is possible as well. That if going almost entirely free to play and just super heavy on how you can monetize cosmetics is a good idea, but then Valve also abandoned Underlords, despite that actually being that model. So maybe that game didn't make money either? I have to assume? I'm assuming they blow up the Celestus here, but I don't know. Maybe I don't want them to do that? If they weren't going to blow up it at sorcery speed, then it was going to give me Unexpected Windfall. So I think I actually wasn't supposed to do that and made a mistake. I wasn't thinking very hard. Alright, there's our land drop. Love to see it. I was kind of thinking I just wanted to tempo my opponent out because them killing me was the only thing that mattered, but actually untapping with that Celestus was cool. And I didn't need to be particularly mana efficient. Okay. Once again, there are all these legendary lands, and I've yet to see any of them matter. But I guess the opponent already has a bunch of basics, so the opportunity cost isn't terribly high. But they could be running dual lands, and look at them. They've got this Lier the Hydra they can't activate because they're running legendary lands instead of dual lands. It's a real cost, dang it. What am I supposed to get rid of here? Galvanic Iteration number 2 or Alchemist's Gambit? Probably Galvanic Iteration number 2, considering I'm about to make 4 mana. I can probably copy this at some point soon. Or we could also draw more Alchemist's Gambit, that works too, I guess. Huh. Okay, Olivia with Takanuma to mill yourself and put creatures in the graveyard? I kinda get it. I would like to Jwari Disruption that, though. But, okay. It's kinda neat. I still have no white mana. Yowzas. 3, 5, 6. We're a long way off from kicking any of these Alchemist's Gambits, huh? I guess we just play our Jwari Disruption and pass and try to get to the point where we can Galvanic Alchemist's Gambit. Well, that takes me off all white sources for Hinata. Okay. Goldspan Dragon being a 5/5 that gets through Hinata is annoying. It's a legitimate problem. Opponent now has the ability to animate a pretty big layer of the Hydra. Yeah, Restless Stormseeker's not fun for me either. Okay, Hinata I still can't cast. Or at least can't cast and do anything meaningful with. Jeez. Wow. How did we get here? I made some mistakes, but I didn't think they were going to hurt this bad. If I play Hinata, then I'm not going to be able to Galvanic Gambit next turn. If I don't play anything, then the Stormseeker flips and I die. So I just have to Gambit and hope to find something meaningful? Okay. Okay, is Windfall meaningful? Probably. One hopes. Kinda need to draw an Opus. Really? Oh. Alright. Well. No Opuses here today. Okay, so we play a white source, play Hinata to chump block, top deck the Opus and stabilize. And hope we don't die right now. That's the game plan. Six, 10, 13. Okay, that doesn't kill me. Does require me to chump block, though. I'm also not entirely... Well, okay, no, I might actually be able to stabilize if we top deck Magma Opus here, because I get 4 tap downs. That's still relevant. Ugh. But I've already used all of my extra turn spells, huh? I get a feeling I'm supposed to bring in Disdainful Stroke against this list, but maybe they trim down on the big creatures against me, so that could still be wrong. Academ's Awakening to get back an Outland Liberator. Okay. Top deck Magma Opus. Nope. Expressive Iteration into... Abrade. Ooh. Alright. Lot of expensive costs there. The one mistake with the Fading Hope, I think, cost me pretty spectacularly in that one. How many Goldspan Dragons do I expect my opponent to have? Enough to justify bringing in Disdainful Strokes? I don't think I'm supposed to take Negate in here. I think I bring in Disdainful Strokes. They did see a cycle 1 Magma Opus that we had to cycle because we were missing our second land drop, or our third land drop. That did happen, unfortunately. Fading Hope's kind of tempting against a Stormseeker deck. A little bit. Thundering Rebuke, definitely. Valorous Stance, probably. Okay, Fading Hope, probably not, in reality. Abrade... we have to keep an Abrade against Stormseeker. Do we bring in Smoldering Egg? I don't think so. Too many of the opponent's creatures fly. I'm supposed to bring in Go Blank against decks that can board into... Or I'm supposed to bring in Behold the Multiverse against decks that can board into Go Blank. I don't know what I'd actually cut here, though, for that. Because I have to bring in the Disdainful Strokes and the Valorous Stances. Maybe I don't need to do that. I probably still need to do that. Alright, let's cut the Abrade. Let's cut... a Windfall? I don't really want to cut a Windfall. No, I'm not gonna. I should. If they're this chunky, they have to be boarding into Go Blanks as their plan since they can't go aggressive. I think I need to bring in more Beholds. Hinata seems like a fine cut. I think Hinata's worth keeping in because the 4-mana 4/4 blocker is actually really good against them. Alright. We got a plan. Opponent needs hand hate or for us to miss land drops for them to have a chance. But as long as I find another red source and they don't stop me from going Windfall into Hinata Opus, we should win. Magda's a strong start for them. Got the iteration here because I need red sources. Okay, Gambit's tempting. I don't need a 5th untap land, technically. We'll take Gambit. That might be wrong. It might be that I'm just supposed to take the guaranteed land drop. Drawing more land drops here just to be secure is nice, but I can't convince myself that they're necessary, really, is the trouble. No Stormseeker, alright. One's gonna get to make a big creature. I probably should be playing Fading Hope because my opponent's on a Kalane strategy, huh? I didn't properly consider that. Gold Span. Okay, that's fine. I'm probably going to end up discarding Alchemist Gambit then. They get to play something really big. And it's a powerful start. There's that really big thing. Yeah, I mean, that's very, very large. I could Jwari Disruption it, but I could also not Jwari Disruption it. Tempting, tempting, tempting. What are we supposed to get rid of here? I kind of think it's Thundering Rebuke. I'm going to need a lot of Magma Opuses for the next couple of turns, and I'm going to need to actually kill my opponent. Alright, so we jam our Hinata, set an upkeep stop. How important is it for me to kill Kalane? I could kill Kalane if I want to sack a treasure. I kind of don't want to sack a treasure. I think I need to not kill Kalane. What happens if they play Goldspan Dragon then? Hey, Seth Manfield. Thanks for the raid. How did the stream go? I think I just have to take the risk that they play a giant hasty dragon. I could also just let them punch me with Goldspan, I guess. Poke, 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 poke. Could just let them hit me with Goldspan here, huh? Not too bad, was playing a similar deck. Nice. How'd it go? Presumably pretty well. I have been finding this deck to be incredibly busted, although not having the most impressive start currently. Okay, you know what, opponent? You know what? You are allowed to hit me with Goldspan Dragon. I am going to save my treasure and my life total. But I don't want to run the risk of them playing a second Goldspan Dragon here. Check for traps. Okay, that removing Alchemist's Gambit is kind of annoying. Okay, down to 3. Suddenly, my treasure token matters a lot less now, which is kind of amusing. Okay. Alright, another Magma Opus? No. That'd be too convenient, huh? Expressive Iteration finds Galvanic. Well, problem is that's not actually useful. So how about an Opus? No? Oh, alright, well. I guess sometimes you draw a lot of cards and nothing happens. I did not expect that we were going to die to mono 5-drop dragons, but I suppose perhaps that's a weakness. I'm not super excited about this hand having Alchemist's Gambit. I feel like my deck is busted enough that I'm probably supposed to mulligan more than I do. Yeah, like, this hand actually seems kind of stellar. I'm just gonna take the rampant card advantage. Not that difficult with all that treasure. Yeah, but using treasure has a pretty big downside. Namely that you don't then have the treasure to cast other spells. And, like, Galvanic Time Walk is a pretty impressive combo. It is something that I would probably rather be doing most of the time with my treasures. Alright, so our opponent's on a green-white enchantments deck. I've yet to figure out if these are more commonly dirtily value decks or aggro decks. The Scary or Curve Outs have been aggro, but I don't know if that's necessarily what they focus on. Didn't have Galvanics. It's a high priority craft. This card's busted. It is actually legitimately, I think, probably the best card in the deck. Without it, I'm not sure the deck as it stands would function. Okay, so this is just the life gain card draw spell, right? Yeah, I don't think I care about that particularly much. Okay, well then we're just going to Windfall this turn, probably discarding a land. I could Abrade the Kami, I guess. Do I want to? Probably don't care. I mean, if I don't discard the Abrade now, I'm discarding it to the Windfall, because I'm not going to cast the Abrade here. Restoration of Igonjo, sure. Akami is sort of inconvenient. It's going to actually hurt over time. Oh, I see. They try to play Blossoming Sands to trigger Sigarda's Splendor. I was wondering why they were at 21, and that took me a second to process. So they're going to draw a card next turn off of Sigarda's Splendor. Okay. Alright. Well, I doubt the opponent's going to kill me here, so I'm just going to, like, draw 6 cards and make 6 treasures on their end of turn. Seems pretty good, as far as plans go. I love when I get to just ignore what my opponent's doing and draw cards instead. That's kind of just all around the best Magic, isn't it? Ooh. Jukai Naturalist is a cool card to reanimate with Restoration of Igonjo. You just put your cost discount into play for free without having spent any of it. Howlin' Haunting, sure. I don't think you can cast enough spells to kill me this turn, though, opponent. Or am I wrong? What does this do? Oh, I might be wrong. Each artifact or enchantment you control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, unit? No? So we give +5? That's not lethal, but it is lethal if they play one more. So I'm probably supposed to do this in response now. My life would be easiest if I just find a Fading Hope off of all this, but otherwise I gotta negate that. Oh, does that mean I can't discard the negate? If I have to have the negate to discard the Michiko's Reign of Truth? Alright, Hinata. I apologize. 'Twas not meant to be today. We might draw another Hinata. You never know. Be real sad if we don't draw another Hinata, but we draw another negate. No, okay. Valorous Stance works. Oh, hey, Fading Hope. Even better. Okay. Reign of Truth enters. Opponent targets Kami. Sure. I got 2 removal spells that kill that thing. Huh. Actually, Valorous Stance costs me an extra treasure to use, but involves them not replaying the Kami this turn. How much do I care? Oh, wait, no, this isn't an enchantment. I don't care about them replaying it, because it's not going to trigger Hallowed Haunting. And it costs 2 mana. And we get to scry. That's cool. Wait. Did we just discard a card to deny me a scry opponent? Okay. I mean, I did just draw 6 cards, but okay. Because I feel like Kami being in play is still the same thing. Land's not exactly what we're looking for, but okay. So we pass the turn. I think I Galvanic Iteration and then Unexpected Windfall. Don't really need a Jwari Disruption here. Probably in response to the Reign of Truth trigger, because I probably am supposed to Abrade whatever they target with Reign of Truth. Probably. I think I just discard the land here. Well, it's not useful cards. Hinata is, like, sort of useful, I guess. Very awkward. I mean, I guess we still have Galvanic Iteration plus Windfall, so, like, we still have card advantage. Restoration of Iganjo flips. We're just allergic to draw an Opus. We'll draw something useful eventually, probably. You know, at the very least, we get a 4/4 that blocks. That's kind of useful. A little bit. Oh, interestingly, no enchantments have gone to the graveyard. Borrowed Time gets rid of Celestus. I could negate it, but it costs me 2 treasures to do so. Am I willing to keep Celestus in play by sacrificing a treasure? I guess so. The looting is valuable. Phasing is not a new mechanic, but it's also a new mechanic in that it came back after a very long absence. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to have to Valorous Stance something. That's inconvenient, but I'd rather Valorous Stance something than use up my Negate here, I think. Yeah. And I guess that gives them the creature back at the end of turn, but it just goes back to hand, right? Not to play? Yeah. I spent so much mana this turn. That sucks. Alright, loot a little bit. Get rid of Celestus. That's extremely unfortunate. Because we're actually basically dead next turn. Get another Michiko trigger. I kind of have to Galvanic plus Unexpected Windfall here, huh? Not stellar. Would like to draw an Opus. Thank you, Opus. Okay. Unfortunately, we've now used up a bunch of our Galvanics and still only have 1 Opus. None of the opponent's removal actually gets taxed by Hinata. Also sucks. At least our Negate costs less. That bit's cool. You could choose to target my Hinata with Michiko's Reign of Truth opponent. That's correct. Probably not a good choice, though. Alright. Opponent gets back Jukai Naturalist. Pumps the Architects to Restoration. That's fine, because we wanted to tap that down with Magma Opus anyway. Kinda still somehow too many creatures for me to realistically deal with. Oh, the Fading Hope actually is stellar. Because now I get to block one of these, and then bounce another one. One Expressive Iteration. I think I actually need to dig towards Magma Opus to have a chance here. Am I supposed to use a treasure to abrade a 3/3? Or do I want to keep a treasure to have more mana for Magma Opus nonsense? No, I'm supposed to hold up Negate so that they can't get rid of my Hinata. Although they would have done that pre-combat, wouldn't they? Catilda. Okay. My opponent has a lot of big creatures. Still no Opuses. Awkward. Still no Opuses? Well, that means I'm actually dead, right? Yowzas. Well, I guess not guaranteed. I can still activate Celestus to loot. Jeez. I think extra turn spells is outs too. Not this turn, but previous turns. Okay, so we've cast what? One Expressive Iteration this turn to flip it back to day. So I abrade the Naturalist to flip it back to day. Do I play Hall? Having Hall might matter a lot, but not having to spend treasure also could be relevant. Assuming I draw the Magma Opus, and assuming that somehow still lets us live, I think I need to have... Okay, well... No, we're not getting there today, are we? I don't see a way out of this, but never underestimate an opponent's ability to find not lethal. Happens more often than you'd expect, but attacking with everything is probably good enough on this occasion, unfortunately. Howdy, Looter Scooter. Standard testing goes well. Deck continues to feel pretty good. But, as is usually the case, I need to improve my plays. It'd be boring if that wasn't the case, though, so I suppose I should be happy. Alright. What do we actually do? Yeah, that is one scenario where Doomscar is okay. But... we had most of our deck as outs in that scenario for a lot of turns. Having a board wipe in that position does not necessarily save you from not being able to draw the cards that save you. If I understood better exactly how fast this deck is likely to go, I can make a more informed choice about wanting to hold, like, Behold the Multiverse or Disdainful Strokes versus how much am I supposed to have removal spells for the early creatures. I kind of feel like I'm supposed to trim some Abrades, play a Valorous Stance, and I kind of want to, like, play Behold the Multiverses, but I can't tell if that's just being reactionary to losing because of a lack of card draw. Ooh, Retrieve Socks. Okay, we can do that. We need to cut. What are we going to cut? Could just got more raids. Okay, done. Be right back. Okie dokie. We'll take the play. Alright, I think I gotta keep this, but we're really gonna hope we draw lands. Yeah, these enchantment decks can get pretty fast, especially if they have an early Jukai Naturalist, which does make me feel like I'm probably supposed to be playing more Abrades than I am. But also, card draw is so wonderful, though. We might have to cycle this Magma Opus. Try to get to an Unexpected Windfall sooner. Yeah, I think I got to. Alright, we do hit the land drop. That's helpful. Quite helpful. Jukai Naturalist, not ideal. I suspect I'm probably supposed to discard Galvanic Iteration here, considering I'm not on 4 mana while casting this Windfall. What inspired me to side out Abrades this game? The previous game making Abrade look bad in the late game, and me not having adequate card draw to find anything to do. Which I confess is probably a little reactionary to the game we had just played, as opposed to generically correct. Jeez. Well, this is quite awful. I think we have to just Behold the Multiverse trying to find the land drop. We do find them, but they are all tapped, huh? I don't think I have enough card advantage in my hand right now to survive just taking tap lands with this. I think I need to either hit an untapped land that I can play with Fading Hope, or like a Magma Opus. Taking kind of a... okay. I'm taking kind of a high variance line here, but I'm going to be honest, I'm not certain that keeping 2 tap lands and then drawing in 2 Alchemist's Gambits would have been good either. If I'm being totally honest, that also seems awful. Yozas. Well, it's sort of like making a land drop. We can Fading Hope the Kami of Transience. Looks like our opponent has the cycle ability that flickers the creature, which they could again deny us a... Do they choose not to do that? That's surprising. I've never seen an opponent choose not to use Restoration of Iganjo's ability before. Okay, touch the Spirit Realm, getting rid of our Celestus, but that does protect our Hinata a little more, at least. And we actually get to bounce the Kami now. No, I don't need the Hinata. Thank you very much, deck. I could have negated that, but I don't think I was supposed to. I think I just need to try to draw the land drop here. We do. Excellent. Okay. Our opponent's got a card draw engine going, but we do have a Hinata down. That isn't good, but it's something at least. The card draw engine really is the problem currently. Yeah, can't let you counter. Can't let you exile Hinata, opponent. I need that in play real badly. Unfortunately, that means they draw a card with Sigarda Splendor. Okay. Unexpected Windfall, not a bad draw, as long as it hits a land. It fails to hit a land. That's bad. Real bad. Alright, we get to Valorous Stance, Architect of Restoration before it attacks. Tilda's also annoying. Ooh. They didn't actually manage to pump the Kami of Transience here is kind of cool. Be good to attack with a Kami opponent and go back to your hand. That'd be fun, right? Okay. Lands. Is that success? I can't tell. Do I want to Abrade or do I just want lands? I think I'm just supposed to want lands. Do not think the Abrade in this spot is meaningful enough. I could get rid of the Kami, I guess. Maybe that's meaningful? Hard to tell. My life total's kind of low. Certainly feels like it leans that way. Don't trust Machine Shuffle. It's a lot more random than shuffling in real life ever is. I can say that for sure. Real life, you have to pay a lot of attention to actually get anything sort of resembling random. Otherwise, a lot of people shuffle and don't even realize they're not actually randomizing the tops and bottom of their decks adequately. Online, you get actual random shuffles. And games that go real unbalanced in terms of what you're drawing are exactly how random actually works. So I could Galvanic Valorous Stance here if the opponent pumped the Kami, but... I'm not in love with the fact that they get to disturb this next turn if I don't do anything here, but also, like, we kind of almost die. So I think I got it. Wow, they didn't replay Catilda on their turn? It's a little surprising. Okay, I think I gotta just pass. I could kick Alchemist's Gambit in this spot, but I think that's probably wrong to do. Yeah, the actual correct way to shuffle is that you make sure not to line up the two halves of the deck that you're shuffling, which is what a lot of people do by instinct, which means that the cards at the very top of the deck and the very bottom of the deck tend to stay at the top and bottom. So you actually want to like get some overlap, so you cut it in half, and the top of the bottom half of the deck you overlap to be the new top of the deck, and the bottom of the top of the deck becomes the new bottom. And if you do it that way enough times, you actually wind up shuffling the entire deck together. I'm going to have to draw Fading Hope real bad. And I believe I've already used one. I have already used one. Oh, that doesn't give trample, does it? 5. Okay, it doesn't matter. Fair. Okay, Galvanic, Windfall. We could also draw Magma Opus, that'd be sweet. Oh, hey, we actually drew Magma Opus. That is sweet. And we also... Wow, okay. We drew cards and we get to play games now. I love it. Okay. I suppose I should do this in response in case I draw... Wait, hold on. In case I draw another Magma Opus. We do not. We drew Negate. I could Negate instead of Fading Hoping the Naturalist. Scrying is valuable, though. Scrying's pretty valuable. No Magma Opus to kill the 2 Jukai Naturalists, which would have been cool. A little potentially much flooding here is not great, but we do get to shut off the draw with Sigarda's Splendor. That's cool. You want a double block opponent? No? Okay. We'd like to draw Magma Opus. We draw Hinata, which is not useful in the slightest, unfortunately. And now we have these Kami of Transiences that actually have trample, and that's a problem. I guess I regret not having more card draw. Circle of Confinement. Well, I'm going to need you to not have that opponent, because I need this 4/4 for chump blocking. 13 minus 8, 5 plus 4. That looks like lethal if they swing with everything, which they thankfully do not do. Alright, double block 6, go to 3, play Hinata. We play the round Magma Opus top deck a lot better. Oh, right. I actually get to keep the 4/4. Sweet. Okay. That's solid. Socks. No scratchy. Okay, so we get to Expressive Iteration again, which means we can hit Magma Opus. Right deck, right deck, right deck. Yes, yes deck, yes! Okay, plan. Play Hinata, Magma Opus. Tap down Kami and Jukai Naturalist. Punch the opponent. So that the Sigarda Splendor doesn't draw cards. Okay, there is a chance. There is a chance. Out hunting, that's not terribly troublesome. One gains life. Ping, 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 ping. Yes, tap. Tap. I feel like I've got a mountain in my deck, so I'd like to bait my opponent into using the Field of Ruin here in response, considering their amount of mana available literally doesn't matter at all. Behold the Multiverse is a magic card. Alright. You want to put Kami of Transience in your hand at the end of turn. No, you want to gain life so Sigarda's Splendor triggers. Okay. Putting Kami into hand does happen, but... Socks, geez. Kitty. Come on. Why you gotta hate my wicker? Oh, we unplugged the monitor, huh? Alright, chat, you're gone. And you're back. Lovely. We're gonna let the cat out. There is a danger to grabbing him when there is too much occurring. Or rather, when he has too much energy. Okay. As we behold the multiverse, try to find some meaningful cards. Probably punch the opponent with Hinata so they don't draw an extra card. We can already block the Kami. Definitely don't want lands and Spikefield Hazards. Those are not the most optimal cards currently. Unexpected Windfall and Magma Opus, however, could be defined as precisely optimal. Quite optimal indeed. Do I want Unexpected Windfall into Magma Opus, and do I want to kill the Jukai Naturalist? The answer to both of these things is probably yes. I do want to attack with Hinata to stop my opponent from drawing a card. Believe that is correct. Playing Celestus or not, that's the part I'm not totally sure on. I don't think that I'm supposed to play the Celestus here. I want to give my opponent the opportunity to like play a Jukai Naturalist, or play a Kami and then an enchantment pre-combat to try to grow the Kami. In which case I get to Magma Opus both the 2/2 Kami and the Jukai Naturalist. They do elect to do that. We do have limited time for game 3. Oh, right. I moderately forgot to tap things. This is true. This is true. Okay. Should be fine. I can just go to 1. It's no big deal. Probably. Definitely should have tapped their stuff down, though. On account of that probably being lethal? Close to it. Okay, let's Unexpected Windfall then. I don't need Magma Opus. It's probably fine. What are they going to do? Play a burn spell? Borrowed time to get rid of Hinata? Yeah, that's not terribly surprising. Okay. That's allowed. I can replay Hinata anyway. $18 life noted for Sigarda's Splendor, huh? I feel pretty incentivized to do enough damage to stop my opponent from drawing any cards here. No, wait, I can't do that with 3 targets if I want to do 2 and 2. So we're going to kill these 2 and then Spikefield Hazard the Kami, which conveniently also stops it from coming back. Galvanic cool. Eventually, we can play the Celestus. Spikefield the Kami. Technically have double Jwari Disruption up, even though that's probably not useful. But the opponent does 17, so they don't draw a card. Did we only need to do... Oh, it was getting buffed because the other one was also a spirit. Yeah, you're right, you're right. Could have dealt one more damage to the opponent. He's through. Time kind of consideration here. Probably going to lose to it in game 3. Because I actually currently lack for ways to win anyway. I could draw a Magma Opus. That'd make it pretty quick. Or a Time Walk. Both would be fine. 13 cards left in my deck, so I don't have too many dead draws remaining. Amusingly, I actually have to cast double Galvanic on nothing here to make me gain a life so that I don't just die if the opponent top decks another removal spell. I do, unfortunately, draw an extra card here, so I could still lose this game somehow. Restoration by Ganjo. Yep, that's one bad... Oh, alright, yeah, I guess I lose. Fair enough. Wow. Huh. What a wild 2 games to lose. Oh, right, we did cycle one Magma Opus at the beginning of the game and discarded an Alchemist's Gambit already. Alright. So... Wait. Are you telling me the last 2 unknown cards in my deck were the 2 cards that won me the game? The Alchemist's Gambit and the Magma Opus? Or am I wrong on that? Was that not actually the case? 1, 2, 3... No, okay. I had used all 4 Opuses. I just missed them. And the other... Oh, okay, no. They were just hiding from me. I'm being silly. Not actually true. Streamer lied for content. Okay, let's see. No, we're gonna try to keep lands this time. Interesting. What are we playing here? I'm probably supposed to take the Fading Hope and get rid of a Hinata. You hit 3 Hinata and 3 Opuses, though. If you still feel at that point it's kind of bad. Well, the trouble was that we kind of trickled into the Opuses far too late. We wanted to have a good start, but we kind of spent like the first 8 turns of the game trying to find our 4th land, I think, which is tricky. Alright, so this is probably the mirror? No, because they have a Foretell card in the main deck. Interesting, I wonder if that's Behold. Well, I'm happy to take Expressive Iteration if we're playing Draw Go mirrors. Did I send a red card to the bottom? No, I sent Jwari Disruption. That's probably correct. Because they could play something here that we want a Fading Hope, like an Egg. Or a Hermit. I sort of don't want to Expressive Iteration this turn. I think we wait until next turn to expressively iterate. No! Behold the Multiverse is so good, though! I'm jealous. Yeah, okay, so is it control with Smoldering Eggs in the main? Very well. I don't want to Fading Hope yet if I don't have to, but I do want to Expressive Iteration now. We got a Jwari Disruption to counter a counterspell if needs be. Oh no! Every card is good! And none of them are castable at sorcery speed! Technically I could Galvanically Iterate, I guess. I think I'm supposed to take Negate and the Galvanic Iteration. And then we Galvanically Iterate so that it's chilling in our graveyard, and then we give the opponent an opening to resolve Goldspan Dragon and act very sad when that happens. And I don't think I actually bother Fading Hoping, but yeah, that was pretty miserable. I'm not even convinced that I'm actually supposed to care about the Galvanic Iteration in that spot because of the threat of Goldspan here. Yeah, unfortunate. Fading Hoping the Goldspan Dragon could go so wrong, but it goes very right for me if they don't actually have a 2-mana counterspell. I'm going to need a lot of top decks to get out of this mess, though. Somehow I've cast a bunch of Expressive Iterations and actually have, like, no cards. Okay. The Fading Hope on Goldspan Dragon is impactful. We do like to see it. So we get to play our Hinata now. Is there any benefit to Hinata list? Is it right now? I don't know, but I suspect not. I have not yet seen a non-Hinata Is It control list that looked like it was doing anything better than the Hinata list. And I didn't feel like it was gaining anything meaningful from the mana base either. Unfortunately, that treasure means I can't Jwari Disruption the Goldspan Dragon. I'm sad. Do I trade Hinata with Goldspan Dragon? I still don't have an answer to Goldspan Dragon if I do that. Taxing their spells is so meaningful, but I just don't have removal for Goldspan Dragon! Arrgh. No, I think we're probably just losing this game. I don't feel like I have the capacity to accomplish anything. I could maybe get the opponent to try to... Alright. That's a start. Am I supposed to Jwari Disruption that or negate it? The timing of this sort of makes me suspect the opponent's missing a land drop, but I'm not guaranteed of that. And if they're missing a land drop, then the Jwari Disruption is interesting, but I don't think I can take the risk. Negate just does a lot more. Okay, they were actually missing the land drop. What do you know? That would make the Jwari... There's still the possibility they top deck a land, in which case the Jwari Disruption isn't useful for countering Goldspan Dragon regardless. Alright, so I have Galvanic. Blow up Smoldering Egg, technically. I'm not really willing to do that. Okay, well... If they hit the land drop, then at least having already used up the Jwari was good. Okay, for Telling Behold... Interesting choice? Because it means not flipping the egg while casting Behold. But I guess they could just plan to not actually do anything here. Do I have to negate Behold? Yeah, probably. Alright, well, I have the Galvanic for this, so that's still nice. But the egg flips, and I don't love that. I'm so far behind on resources, how did this happen? Is it because I wasted my mana on a bunch of stuff like Fading Hope? Wait, no, I'm really only Fading... How am I... Oh, I'm drawing a bunch of lands, and they're not, that's why, okay. Right. That happens sometimes. guess I kind of have to Alchemist's Gambit because I'm, like, dead next turn. I mean, I'm still sort of dead to, like, anything. Alright, that resolves. I got the chance to draw Magma Opus. Oop. Double Abrade. Okay, technically not dead yet. Do 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 do. I mean, I actually am still... Oh, no, not technically dead on board. Right? I only go to 1. They gotta, like, cast the Galvanic to deal 2 to me, and then I'd be dead to all the Storm Giants, but they wouldn't have enough mana to activate it, so they would have needed to top deck untap land. Anti-flying. It goes awkwardly. We have engaged in suboptimal series of draws in the last couple of games, I think. Alright, well, we do get to do this, which is fun. Counter it, counter it, counter it. No! We tried. We tried. Okay, Smoldering Egg, Thundering Rebukes, Behold the Multiverses, Test of Talents, Disdainful Strokes, Valorous Stances, Abrades come out, Fading Hopes come out, Hinatas come out, Magma Opuses get trimmed, and then what? What's the last cut? It's possible I only need 3 Smoldering Eggs and not 4. It's also possible that's the talk of a madman. I'm on the play, so I don't need to trim Expressive or Celestus. I can probably reconsider that on the draw. Don't you mean some optimal series of decisions? I mean to say there were a lot of opportunities for my deck to bail me out of my bad decisions, and unfortunately I was not rewarded. I really do like Celestus, though. It's not a bad card. I just don't know what else to cut. Alright, we'll cut the egg. Am I a crazy person? Yes. When you have time, what's your thought behind cutting Hinata for this sort of mirror? Resolving a 4-drop at sorcery speed's kind of hard. I'd rather just win by card draw. Okay, we can keep this. Should I keep the Spikefield to play around Hermit? No, not on the play, I don't need to, because my line is still Smoldering Egg on 2 into Expressive Iteration on 3, which is, like, absolutely stellar against Hermit. I could have foretold Behold the Multiverse instead of playing the Smoldering Egg. Is that right? Maybe. Alright, now that my opponent's holding up 2 mana, though, I can just foretell Behold the Multiverse and play a land. That works. The only reason I don't like that is that they aren't cutting Goldspan, but I don't think Hinata is good against Goldspan anyway, right? Okay, there's Hermit. Sure. I don't know that turning Goldspan sideways into Hinata actually feels particularly bad at all, if I'm being honest. I think that's fine for them. It's not good, but it's definitely fine. And that doesn't answer the fundamental problem of I don't know that I am capable of resolving Hinata. So, like, how good Hinata is once it's in play is not necessarily the question of why I'm cutting it in the first place. I kind of feel like I just want to jam 4 mana Behold the Multiverse here. Put the most counters on Smoldering Egg. I expect the opponent uses some kind of counter spell. They go for her. Okay, that works for me. Missed land drop is awkward. I think I have to be okay with that. I don't believe I get to tap out here. Benevolent Geist, sure. We're expecting we probably get to kill that with Smoldering Egg. So Galvanic. Kind of halfway suspecting this gets Test-a-Talenced. Did. It does not. That's extremely good for us. Alright, so we get to flip the egg. We'll see whether it dies or not here. We get to resolve at least one of these Beholds, which hopefully hits some lands. Alright, at least one land guaranteed. That's a start. Test of Talents, that's nice. Good against Galvanic Iteration decks. The rest of the lands we can probably bottom. We find more anyway, perfect. Still no answers to Goldspan Dragon. Looks like Dragonfire revealing Goldspan Dragon from hand, killing Ashmouth Dragon. Yeah, that's tough. Considering I have answers to 0 of any of that, that's a rough spot to be in. Kinda need to bluff my opponent into not playing Goldspan Dragon despite my lack of answers. Okay, Expressive Iteration. We are excited. I'm gonna need to draw like a Disdainful Stroke. 2 of them maybe? No, none of this is helpful at all. Galvanic Spikefield for Benevolent Geist, I guess? Okay, so I can Galvanic Spikefield Benevolent Geist and then counter something. But luckily we're still capable of bluffing the opponent out of Goldspan Dragon. That is the best part of having all your mana up. What if I need another Disdainful Stroke in the yard? Possibly. This is a wildly unexciting spot to be in. Okay. Spikefield on Hermit. Sack Hermit so it doesn't get exiled, sure. Then I'm casting Windfall, but what am I discarding? I kind of feel like I'm discarding Negate, probably. And I'm imagining my Windfall gets countered, and I'm hoping that I top deck Disdainful Stroke, ideally. No. Land. Okay. Alright, well, we created an opening to go for Galvanic Windfall. Now we just need that to somehow be good enough. Windfall's not helpful. Valorous Stance is at least moderately useful. Not particularly useful, but tiny bit useful. There's a chance that that can deal with Goldspan Dragon. This is probably another matchup where having a Hullbreaker Horror post board would be nice. Yeah, that's a Goldspan Dragon. Alright, opponent, please no counterspells. Very much would like that a lot. Woo! Alright, there's a chance. Alright, now let's top deck a Goldspan, or let's top deck an egg. That's not an egg. But that's fine. We'll just... Okay, that's also not eggs. Let's just top deck eggs. Also not eggs, but Disdainful Stroke is pretty good, so that could be worse. Kind of feel like I need to resolve this Windfall, though, so I guess we're casting it now before the opponent has a chance to draw. Oh, that's why we couldn't counter the other thing. Okay, fair. Harsh but fair. We are taking damage. Celestus is pretty bad for me. That's a lot of looting. Don't like that. Okay, land's not helpful. Also, it flips to night, which is not helpful. Kind of regret not drawing anything. Expressive Iteration, I can't stop that. Yep, I mean, it's not like I didn't draw card advantage. We've drawn actually an obscene amount of card advantage. Like most of the card advantage in the deck. I can complain about pretty much nothing other than not finding more eggs, and in a sense, that's my fault. I could have boarded in more and chose not to, I believe. Probably should have. Probably a mistake. No! I'm being out card advantaged so hard. I haven't even drawn fewer cards. I guess I just got countered so much that I ran out of resources? Is that what happened? Oh, I guess a lot of those Expressive Iterations hit cards that I didn't actually use, which is sort of card disadvantage. Alright, well, still top decking fantastically. Yes, yes! These are cards. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to get Alchemist's Gambit, Disdainful Stroke, and then I lose, but I still kind of got to go for it. Yeah, there's not much to it, but just trying now. Trying and hoping. That's the plan. Really, really, really wish I had one more mana than I have right now, though. Maybe I do wait a turn? Then I can Alchemist's Gambit. No, I don't think I can afford to wait a turn. I kind of just have to hope. There's a very, 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 very low chance this can succeed. They're probably going to have some kind of counterspell, and then, I mean, much, 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 much danger. Oh, no counterspell but Dragon's Fire with a Goldspan in hand? That also sucks a lot, but I actually couldn't have played around that. Ah, there's those Disdainful Strokes I needed earlier. Alright, let's play this. Okay, so we need no counterspells, and we top deck Magma Opus to clear the Benevolent Geists. We got an answer to the Goldspan. I'd like them to use a counterspell on Disdainful Stroke, because it lets me actually convert cards in hand into resources that are otherwise kind of chilling doing nothing. Cool. Test of Talents is fine. I can put the other one on the stack in response. Okay, so that means that there's an opening for me to draw, hopefully, Magma Opus, and the opponent might be out of counterspells. Being the non-hermit deck post board is rough. I don't actually agree with that typically. I'm usually of the opinion that I would rather be playing Smoldering Eggs and card draw spells than more Benevolent Geists. But I have definitely resolved fewer spells, and that is a rough spot to be. Oh, so perhaps too many lands. Ugh. The Dragon Fires were brutal. Not surprising, but brutal. I'd have a much easier time if my threats had 5 toughness, but not a lot I can do about that. I'd also have an easier time if I could actually hold up counter spells to protect my eggs. But what did we get to that I didn't do that? Was this the game where I played an Expressive Iteration early on and then like didn't have an answer to Goldspan? No, that was game 1. I gotta watch the replay of this game. It's wild that I was capable of losing this. I feel like I must have misplayed somewhere pretty significantly. Because this is a draw that I should not be able to lose with. I feel like I have to have committed errors to have lost while drawing 3 Behold the Multiverses in this kind of a mirror. I think I overinvested into Smoldering Egg. I don't know if that's a mistake, but I invested very heavily into flipping Smoldering Egg, which got undone by the Dragon's Fire, and I did that at the expense of developing my card draw early on. Like, I took a turn to not Galvanic Behold the Multiverse, because I wanted to play a 4-mana Behold the Multiverse instead, and the acceleration of drawing 4 cards earlier would have been a big deal. Remember when this deck was unbeatable in Chris's hands? Well, we are playing against more players who are actually playing blue now. That's a pretty big difference.